So for a dream vacation assignment, you've picked your places, you found all your amenities, and now it's time to make a video walking through the whole thing with our street view and prices and explanation. So to begin, we are going to start at Johnsburg Junior High because that seems to be the best place. So here's a junior high. Granted, it's from a couple of years ago before the renovation, but this is what the building looked like. We used to have trees, but we'll start here, get in the car, and drive all the way to O'Hare International Airport, which is about, let's scroll out, about an hour drive all the way down to O'Hare International. And we'll go from the International Terminal here through the International Terminal, picking up a little bit of a snack as you always do in the airport, and then getting on my air ride all the way to my destination, which is quite the trip. Because we're going from O'Hare all the way to South America to Lima, Peru on a 9-hour and 30-minute flight, which is about, with a few stops in different areas there, but we're looking at about $400 round trip, which really isn't too bad of a price for this type of vacation. And once we get to the international airport here in Lima, Peru, let's just zoom in, show what it looks like. There you go, Kevin. A much more crowded place, but this is perfect for what we want because we are going here. Is our eventual goal for this trip. We are going to Machu Picchu, the ruins of the Incan Empire in South America in Peru. But it's a bit of a trek to get there. So we go from the airport on a fantastic 20-hour drive, taking the short way, a 25-hour drive to cut through the mountains, to this teeny tiny little eco lodge in the mountains in Peru. By a nice little town here, but this is where we plan to stop. So we'll just drop Kevin, which is very close to that. There's a river coming down from the mountains, but the thing to take note of is this road we're on. It is a dirt road we're going to take through the switchbacks all the way up the mountain to get where it is. There is not a direct path to where we're going to be staying. On this river path here, through the trails on that dirt road until we get close into round to this area here where we'll go through the entrance to Machu Picchu, and you can see these trails back and forth getting all the way up the switchback, close to the very top of the ruins themselves, where we have the hotel we're staying in, the Belmond Sanctuary Lodge. Inside this Sanctuary Lodge, there's multiple rooms to pick from, but again, because we're on this fantasy trip and it has no real limits, we're going to go all the way to the top to get the 1-bedroom suite, which is fantastic. You get your TV, you get a little entertainment area there, and a nice little patio to sit out on in the mountainsides. Just fantastic amenities all together for a whopping $2,600 a night. But we're only staying one night while we're here anyways, so it's perfectly fine. You can see into the mountainside there. But the real benefit of this is being in the mountains, but also being close to the ruins right up here, the Machu Picchu ruins, which we'll eventually be walking into. So we take little Kevin here for our activities and drop him on the trail. And it's a really cool city built out of layered stone, no real masonry, into the mountainside where the Incan Empire lived. On the top of this mountain here, this was their whole city, this was their agriculture, this was their everything. And it's always been a goal in my lifetime at some point to be able to come here and see this massive preserved from hundreds of years ago ruins in the mountainside. Now, of course, I've not done this trip, but the plan is to eventually get to go here and see everything this has to offer. And that is my whole trip. I mean, in total, we're looking at the $2,600 a night for the hotel, the $400 for that, and added in a few extra expenses will be under $4,000 for my entire trip.